Happy New Year to everybody. Thanks for joining me in a new video or for the new year. Today I'll be doing a Let's Talk About video. It has been a while since we've done that, and yeah, I finally thought that it would be time to do it. And today we'll be talking about this color called Smalt or Dumont's Blue. So reason why I chose Smalt from Winsor Newton is because I am doing a limited palette challenge with the art community. We call ourselves the Wanderers, and this was like one of the colors. We actually picked ultramarine violet. The pigment number is PV15. So I happen to have this one because I got this quite a while back. I don't know why or when. Maybe the name picked me. Like I didn't know why I got it, but I got it. And it happens to be PV 15, so I'm really happy I actually have this, like, ooh, serendipitous. It is a Winsor Newton color. So if you notice from the name, Smalt is actually a traditional, kind of a very old history, old pigment. But in fact, this is not the same. This is just a kind of a hue, I would guess, like a dupe of it. But what Smalt is, according to this pigment across the edges, I would actually put it down in a link so that you could kind of like look at all the other things they have in that wonderful website. It's actually ground blue potassium glass containing cobalt. Like it was used in the 15th and 18th century. So this was like really popular because it was low cost and it's a very good dryer. So I don't know what that means about a good dryer, but I don't think people use this anymore. But this is definitely different. There's kind of a hue to it. So it's PV15. And this one is transparent, as you can see from the swatch, the mass tone being quite dark, right? And then it goes down to kind of a like nice lavender color. So like I'm gonna bring in lavender here because it was supposed to be the color that we would use for our limited palette challenge. But because you know how lavender is always kind of opaque, so we thought it wouldn't be a good mixing color, which is why we picked PV15 ultramarine violet. But I'm using Smalt. So anyway, it is supposed to be Lightfast, fairly reasonably, excellently Lightfast, with 5 stars, and it's non-staining. Oh, I don't know. It is non-staining. I actually make the assumption based on the fact that it's an ultramarine, because you know how ultramarines are kind of bigger molecules, so they kind of like not as staining as like the small organic molecules. So fairly okay. So I could kind of scrub off some of the colors. So I would say it's kind of non-staining. Yeah, and it's granulating, of course. If you look at the water in paint, right, and the paint in water test, you can see that this granulation kind of happening. Okay, so pardon me for the paper, because the paper that I've used is kind of like it's really at the end of its life. I can feel like it's like the sizing starting to break down. So pardon this, okay? But I think the rest still kind of work. And I added this new feature, or like a new way to look at colors by looking at the C-Lab notation. So this is the color notation. It's kind of like geeky for some people, but I would kind of describe it like if you kind of study C-Lab, you kind of like can understand like L here means the light, like dark night, like how dark or how light the color is. And this is like, because it's very closer to 0, it's kind of a darker shade, right? So I think they actually use like the mass tone, okay? And then A here is where it shifts along the red-green line, and it's 28. So it's kind of more red magenta, right? So it's a violet, so of course it's gonna be. Then B here is it's leaning towards blue or yellow, and because it's like like -57, it's kind of closer to blue. Chroma is how saturated the color is. 63.68 is kind of intense and saturated, as seen from here, all right? And then H is the hue angle. So hue angle is where it's placed in the color wheel. You know how the color wheel is divided into 12 pieces on the pie, and this one falls under this 296 degrees, so it's kind of in the violet range. So it's kind of described as a dark, intense violet with a strong blue undertone, and it's kind of like has a bit of red magenta. So it's kind of describing this color. And I got this information from artistpigments.org. This website has tons of information on pigments, colors, and like all these things would be there. So it's like I think one of the best resources for artist pigment lovers or like pigment nerds, as what Dr. Otto Kano says or calls people. And when you mix it, so because it's on 296 degrees, the complementary color is in fact inside the yellow, green to green range of the color wheel, as you can see here. So when I use like a yellow green color, you get kind of a neutralization, and then it becomes like a gray, like a neutralized tone, like gray black tone. And of course, when you kind of can see like that same color coming up with the yellow colors, and also the orange like blue, light yellow. And then when you go down to like reds and magenta color, you get kind of like a deeper purple or like a deeper like reddish tone, the like burgundy color over here. And of course, it does not do much with the blue because they're kind of analogous, and you just have like variation of blues and like some of these like dark greens. So this is how it mixes with the colors in the color wheel. And if we look at behind, right, what I've done is like, this is Smalt over here, I swatched it out. Compared to the other PV15s, you can see that it's notably more blue than the rest. So the rest are kind of more like, really, I would say like they are true violets as compared to PV23, which is like kind of to me like the violet, you know, and the rest are kind of like closer to this one. And the Smalt is kind of more blue, but it does not reach that, it's not too close to ultramarine blue either. So it's really just like a color that's cut in between ultramarine blue and ultramarine violet. So ultramarine violet, yeah, it's like Smalt is between ultramarine blue and ultramarine violet. So there you have it. It's kind of unique, interesting color that I think it's nice to try, like use. I really love it. I love this color. I will be using this color in a limited palette challenge. So what's this limited palette challenge about? It's where we use a unique color scheme every month, and this January we are featuring ultramarine violet. So this is a keystone color chosen by our art community. We are spicing things up with a triad color scheme, meaning we'll be adding 2 more colors to complement our main hue. So get ready to see how these 3 colors transform flora, landscape, and portrait paintings in our weekly January 2024 live streams. And for those who are mixing along, support me on Ko-fi for exclusive access to our color mixing charts and color suggestions. So here is a little flavor of what to expect when we use these 3 colors in a sketch. I sketch a Singapore shortfront every week on Instagram, so you may want to check out my Instagram account if you'd like to see more of these drawings. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you'd like to see similar content. And I'll see you in the next video. Okay, bye bye.